Hey, I'm Craig Harrington. I'm the president of the Modifiers Car Club, who's sponsoring the show today. Right now we have about 80 cars in the show today. We're expecting a few more, but we're a nice day. It's about 80 cars. And I have a 1966 Mustang convertible that only has original 13,000 miles on it. It sat rotting in a garage for 40 some odd years, and it's been restored to the way it looks today, like showroom condition. Actually, I bought the car when it was already restored. The story on a millionaire had it, drove it a little distance. When he died, his wife had 40 sets of keys. The undertaker bought this particular car and restored it, spent about 35 grand on restoring it, and made a mistake giving it to his wife, no offense. But a year later, him and his wife are getting divorced. Along comes my wife, oh, you're dumping the car? I'll take it. So we've paid little money for it, and all we've done is drive it for the last 10 years. I can tell you the oldest car over here, you can't see it, but the oldest car over here is a 1928 Cadillac.
It's a 56 Ford Fairlane. Well, I bought it 6 years ago on eBay. When I bought it, it didn't look like this. It's been painted, it's got a new motor, new interior. It goes in the shop every winter and comes out with something different done to it. So I came home from the hospital as a baby in a 55 Ford, similar car. So I grew up with my dad, had one. It's a style that I like. It's different because there's no power steering. So it takes you back to the 50s where you really had to drive the car. It outsold the 55, 56, and 57 Fords outsold the Chevys of the same year. So you see a lot of 55 to 57 Chevys, but you don't see as many Fords, but the Fords outsold them.
Well, it's a 66 Corvette drop top, and my wife and I really love it. We love putting the top down and taking it out on nice days. Yeah, it hadn't run in 20 years, and I had wanted it for 20 years, and it suddenly became available. And I've spent since last August wrenching and working on it. And today is our actual first highway cruise. You know, the way cars are built today, they don't really have much feeling to it. But you know, when you get in an old kind of hot rod 4-speed, you know, they have a little soul to them. If you really want to hear something cool, when I start it up, I put exhaust dumps on it, so it's straight open headers to the ground. But that's your call.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay. All right, I'll fire her up. You don't see any little children or babies, do you?
Very nice. It's a 1968 Jaguar E-Type. I've owned it for a little bit over 12 years. Spent most of that time restoring it. It's mostly original. It's a blast to drive. The cars were ahead of their time in the day. They were very fast. Now they're slow. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. It's got a 6-cylinder engine, which was rated at 265 horsepower, which was a lot back then. 3 carburetors. I upgraded the radiator, upgraded the brakes just to kind of make it drivable. And for an old car, it actually drives very well. It's smooth, it's comfortable. And if you want to go fast, you can do that too.
Well, I'm a race car driver. I attend Wellesley High School. I'm a sophomore. Well, here I'm just trying to get more awareness for NASCAR and trying to get more awareness of what I'm doing over the summer because we're looking for more sponsors. What I'm doing is I made into a NASCAR driver development program thanks to Rev Racing and all those amazing people out there helping to make diversity into NASCAR. We were selected one of 4 people that made it into the program. We're going to be running legend cars at Charlotte Motor Speedway for about 10 races and just so looking forward to get down there and racing. I fell in love with it when I saw NASCAR on TV when I was about 3 or 4, and I started racing about when I was 5 or 6. 2-3 years ago, I bought my first car, built it from the ground up with CF Motorsports, all those amazing people there. And then we ended up having an amazing season then, moved up a class, had a not so good season, but then we applied for the Drive for Diversity Youth Program from Rev Racing. Ended up getting into it, and that's where we are right now, and we're getting ready to go down to Charlotte in a few weeks. Right now we're in the Legend program, and we're hoping by the end of the summer move up to late models, K&N, and hopefully Xfinity trucks, and hopefully about 4 or 5 years up to the Cup level. One of the ways you can sponsor me is go to my website, www.blakelyothianracing.com, filling out the sponsor application down there, and I just hope you guys sponsor me because we need a lot of support making it up through the rankings. Thank you.
This is a 1949 Ford F1 pickup truck with a few changes. It's been chopped 4 inches. The frame has been shortened 8 inches, 2 feet off the rear, 6 inches off the front. It has a 32 Ford front end with a 38 grill Ford. It's got a big block Chevy 468. It's got a Dana 60 rear end, and the frame's been boxed, Z'd. Everything's custom built on it, pretty much. It's also got a 55 Chevy dash, which came out too high, so I ended up having to build a chain drive to bring it down to the steering box.
It's a 1911 Model T. It's been in my wife's family since 1950. Been slowly restoring it. I live here in Wellesley, drove over here today. It takes a while to learn how to drive just because of the clutch and the way it starts, and it can oftentimes stall if you're at a traffic light if you don't know how to drive it. It's so the first year or so it took a lot of getting used to. It's a fun thing to do. People oftentimes think there aren't that many of them. There are lots and lots of them because so many were made. So you do see them around. But as I said, usually I'm one of the oldest you'll see in this area. And it's, people say, Henry Ford said, you can have any color you want as long as it's black. But actually this car, when it was manufactured, was midnight blue. And before 1915, you could get that color, green, yellow, red. And then they decided we're going to go to black because black dries faster.
We're Cub Scout Pack 140. We have all of our meetings and den meetings out of the community center here. So wanted to support Wheels of Wellesley and the wonderful Wellesley weekend, and hopefully get a couple other people to sign up for our pack.
You get to go on overnights and all these stuff.
Yeah, and we do all sorts of neat things during the course of the year, right?
Like medals.
That's right. You earn medals and belt loops,
Yeah.
right? And you get to meet a lot of new people. Our pack is actually spread across all of the schools except for Bates. So we have people from Schofield and people from Fisk and people from Sprague. So all the kids get together and meet once a month as a large group, and then together as their dens once a month as well. And they have friends that they have for 5 years. And then when they move on to the middle school, they have a large group of friends they know, so they're never alone.